Most YouTube creators are just one or two strong thumbnails away from a totally different growth curve. Most of them never realize it. The video itself could be genuinely great. The title could be nailed. The SEO could be perfect. But if the thumbnail fails to stop someone mid-scroll, none of that effort matters. There is no click, the algorithm has nothing to push, and the video fades out quietly. And that's the truth. Packaging is basically the whole game for every creator and brand we work with. A channel momentum almost always go back to one core thing: how the content is packaged. By the time you finish this, you'll understand exactly why some thumbnails pull clicks like magnets, while others get scrolled right past. Now let's get into it. So why do vast majority of thumbnails miss the mark? It's not that people are lazy, it's not the software they are using, and it's definitely not a lack of caring. Here is my honest take. Most people teaching thumbnail strategy online don't actually understand the mechanics behind it themselves. They can recognize a good thumbnail because they've spent years scrolling their homepage, but ask them why something works, and they can't really answer. They'll say make a better title, make a better thumbnail, and sure, that's technically correct, but it's not actionable, so the advice never goes deeper than the surface, and the people following it stay stuck at the same level. What follows here is the actual mechanism underneath it all. The mistake most creators make is they design thumbnails to summarize their video, and that's not a thumbnail job at all. A thumbnail has exactly one function: to plant a promise the viewer can't ignore. Every thumbnail that's ever generated a huge click-through rate in any niche at any point in the platform history leans on one or more of 5 specific psychological triggers. The first is curiosity. The thumbnail creates a gap in information that your brain feels compelled to fill. Something is hinted at but never fully revealed. Think back to the last video you clicked purely because the picture made you feel like you'd be missing out otherwise. That reaction wasn't an accident. It was engineered on purpose. Sharp visual contrasts acts like a biological stop sign. Pattern break in on an endless feed of visual noise. High contrast images physically interrupts where your eyes land. This isn't just a stylistic preference. It's wired into how your brain works. Third is emotion. A face showing a clear, easily readable emotion gets processed by the brain in under 150 milliseconds, faster than you can even read the title. Fourth is conflict. Conflict signals a winner versus a loser, and people want to know which side they are on. Fifth is reward. The thumbnail implicitly promises the viewer something in exchange for the click: information, entertainment, a laugh, validation, an answer to a question. The sharper and more specific that promised payoff feels, the higher your click-through rate climbs. You'll come across countless videos cataloging trending styles, cinematic style text, dark backgrounds paired with countdowns. These styles are absolutely real, and plenty are still performing well, but almost nobody explaining them can tell you the reason why. Take that dark thumbnail with 59 seconds thrown into the title. That's conflict plus reward working together. There is a specific implied payoff, and the countdown makes it feel low risky enough to click but urgent enough to matter. Or a distorted word face in a thumbnail. That's an extreme version of curiosity at work. The brain spots something visually off, but linger on it. And neo-minimalist thumbnails, which are basically just clean and simple designs, that's pure contrast. When 90% of the feed is cluttered and shouting for attention, quiet simplicity often stands out the most. Every trending style ultimately succeeds because it taps into one or more of those 5 triggers. The style itself is just packaging. The psychology underneath is what actually drives results. Styles come and go. What's hot today might feel old in 6 months once everyone is copying it. But these 5 triggers have held true since YouTube earliest days, and they still hold true 10 years or more from now. Once you actually understand why they work and you start applying them, you stop scrambling to keep up with trends and start setting them instead. So ask yourself honestly, how many thumbnails have you made by copying a look without ever understanding the reasoning behind it? Here is something worth sitting with because it puts everything above into perspective. This kind of visual psychology isn't YouTube invention, and it's not even limited to digital media. Think back to walking into a video rental store, or if that's before your time, picture scrolling through Netflix instead. Every picture you see there was deliberately crafted to make you pause, think and act. Movie posters, VHS and Blu-ray covers, magazine spreads, book jackets, album covers, all built around a single goal: hold someone's attention long enough that they consider engaging further. This is a craft older than the internet, older than TV, and the underlying psychology hasn't shifted because human attention itself hasn't fundamentally changed, aside from getting shorter. So when someone claims thumbnails don't matter, what I actually hear is someone who doesn't realize they are competing in a game with rules written long before any of us existed. You either study those rules or you stay stuck ignoring them. And if your thumbnails aren't getting the clicks your videos deserve, that's exactly what we fix at Next Media. Hit me up on Instagram or on X, or just head to Next Media and book a call. Now here is where most people misjudge YouTube entirely. They assume nearly all the effort belongs in the content itself, which sounds reasonable on paper, but look at any other industry: a plumbing business, a restaurant, a film studio, a sneaker brand like Nike. The product is only one piece of what actually gets it in front of people. The packaging, the presentation, that work matters just as much as the product itself. Think of your content like a cake. It has to be genuinely excellent. The best one fun on the table, but the frosting, the layering, the decoration, that's what makes people want slice before they even taste it. Your thumbnail is that frosting. Nobody serves bear and frosted cake at something important, and your video is exactly that kind of moment. Knowing the psychology is only half the battle. Execution is where things can fall apart, and that's where it gets personal. Let me walk you through something that happened to me recently, because it's the clearest way I can explain this. These days I worked with a thumbnail designer, and it generally works out. I'd guess I'm satisfied roughly 7 times out of 10, but the other few times when what he sends doesn't land, I end up in Photoshop myself, cleaning up that last 25%, which is especially annoying when you are paying someone and working against the clock. Now, for a recent video, my designer sent over 2 thumbnails options at the last minute, and neither one worked for me. With 19 minutes left on the clock, I was stuck, and a weak thumbnail into a video you've put effort into isn't just cosmetic, it snowballs into a real problem for your channel. And that's the exact moment I land on a tool that's become a core part of how I build thumbnails. The platform is called 1of10. What sets it apart is this: it's not some generic AI image generator spitting out random visual you are hoping will pass as a thumbnail. It's a platform purpose built around data from high performing YouTube thumbnails. It studies what's currently working across the feed and produces backgrounds, layouts, and visual concepts already tuned for clickability before you've even dropped in your face, text, or branding. That's a big deal given how quickly thumbnail trends shift right now. You are not relying on a hunch or trying to recreate a screenshot in Photoshop. You are working straight from real performance data. I've compared it directly against competing tools, and the gap is obvious between something built to genuinely serve creators and something thrown together as a cheap copy. For that video where my designer thumbnails didn't work out, I used 1of10 to build the background, dropped in my face, and had the publish ready thumbnail in under 10 minutes. The tool is obviously wasn't the only reason it performed. The content still had to back up what the thumbnail promised, but the thumbnail is what earned the click in the first place, and that's the battle you have to win before anything else happens. Without it, that video likely flops and the channel loses momentum along with it. And here is a quick look at how it works. The homepage features an outlier section with adjustable filters showing thumbnails that are outperforming expectations across different niches regardless of channel size. Great for pulling inspiration from outside your own space. There is also a trackers tab where you can add competitors or channels you admire. A bookmarking feature lets you save ideas as you browse. If coming up with concepts is a struggle, the built-in idea and title generators pull straight from data on top performing channels rather than guessing blind. But the real centerpiece is the thumbnail generator itself. Since it's linked to your channel, it pulls from existing images of you through its AI. I typed a single sentence description for a video about YouTube productivity, skipped adding a reference photo, and within 22 seconds, it produced 4 ready-to-use thumbnails. At least 2 I'd feel comfortable publishing without changes. From there, you can tweak with AI, adjust text with zero design experience needed. I've paid for this tool for years now, and I trust it enough. And if you want support building out your channel full packaging strategy, thumbnails, titles, the whole system, that's precisely the kind of work we handle for clients at Next Media. You can reach me on Instagram or DM me on X, or if you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and build real momentum, book a call now at Next Media. Until next time.